United States Navy and the nearly 390,000 active duty sailors, both active duty and reserve. And just a thrill to be here and honor those that have made the ultimate sacrifice. Had a chance to interact with our Gold Star families today, and truly humbling, and I'm so grateful to be here and be in their presence. And what the Speedway and what NASCAR does in this partnership is just amazing.
I've said this before, what Speedway Motorsports, NASCAR, the fans here at the racetrack, makes me proud to be part of this. Does it fill you with pride to have all these people?
I'm so
wrapped around the American flag and wanting to honor not only our current servicemen, but those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Absolutely, and I think that it's a testament to not only NASCAR, but those that have made the sacrifice, and the partnership with not only the Speedway and, as I said, NASCAR, but the members of the military that are here. I think we've got somewhere over 2,500 active and reserve sailors, soldiers, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, Guardians, and it's really about them and their service, but for those Gold Star families and the folks that have made that ultimate sacrifice, that's what this weekend's about, and remembering them and their service, and we will never forget them or their service.
Well, Rear Admiral Select, we really appreciate you being here. Stick around. We're going to watch some racing up here, and this is a pretty good seat.
Absolutely, Doug. Thank you. Pleasure to be here, and grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.
We're thankful for everything that you and all your fellow officers and enlisted men have done for us over the years.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we're about ready to get back to business here. Wow, this has been an action-packed day and a lot of firepower up here in the PRN booth.
Yeah, no lie. Some serious stuff going on
Well,
here.
you flew F-18s. You could call in a strike force, man.
No kidding. And speaking of a strike force, they're on pit road. Let's go to Wendy Venturini.
Chase Elliott's been in the top 10. It's going to be 4 tires and fuel for him. We do know the rain is about 30 minutes out. Also, Bubba Wallace said he was trying to buy himself some time. He stayed pretty neutral. He wants to stay with the setup of the car right now. 4 tires and fuel for him, Brad Gilly.
Here's your race leader, Christopher Bell, already down and away. 4 tires and a fresh drink. Sunoco race fuel. William Byron, same for him. Air pressure adjustment for the 24. Brad Gilly. 9.5 second stop for Brad Keselowski. No changes. He's really happy with the car over the long run. If he can just make it a strong run for the rest of the way, he'd be really happy.
So as they came off the pit lane, it is going to be Christopher Bell, William Byron, Bubba Wallace. They went on 1, 2, 3. They come out that way. Chase Elliott is up 3 to 4th. Brad Keselowski holds on to the 5th spot. Up 7, Ty Gibbs, that number 1 pit stall. He did 4 tires, still made up 7 positions. He was number 6. Then Reddick was 7th. He's up 3. -4, Denny Hamlin gets burned again on pit road. -1, Josh Berry 9th. 10th car off a pit lane, Ross Chastain.
Been a tough night for Denny Hamlin on pit road. He keeps having to battle back up into the bottom of the top 5. But, Mark, those kind of mistakes, now that we're past halfway, they're going to cost you a lot more. I am curious to see. We're fully dark here. It's the second 300 miles of this race. Will the same drivers and cars be good that were good for the first part? In the first part of this race, Ty Gibbs led 74 laps, William Byron 48, Christopher Bell 45.
That's the question, isn't it?
That is.
We have seen heroes turn into zeros in the second half of the race, and zeros turn into heroes.
Well, we've already had that, a flip from last year when Ryan Blaney came in here and won this race, and Ryan Blaney is going to go home in 39th position. Truth be told, Ryan Blaney is probably already home.
Yeah.
They're not trapped in the infield like they were last week at North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race.
I'm guessing feet are up and he's listening to PRN right now.
I'd like to think that, but maybe not.
Ryan's old school. Hey, Blaney's old school, man.
We do like us some Ryan Blaney. Very easy guy to interview. We'll see about this tonight. After all of this is over, folks, there's a lot that goes on at Charlotte Motor Speedway when you win the Coke 600.
Like the stream. Like the stream, God damn it, like it.
Our right over to the Speedway Club up in the Smith Tower, and there's a couple of hundred people in there waiting for you to show up, and Marcus Smith comes in and showers you with more gifts.
And you trap him in the PRN studio.
We take him down to the PRN studios. It's usually bleary-eyed around 1:30, but they're glad to see us because we're the last people they have to talk to before they can scoot out the door.
Yeah, and it starts with, we promise they're the last people. Let's go to Brett McMillan.
Yes.
Well, you guys talked about the issues Denny Hamlin's been having Remember earlier, he went too far into his pits and ended up getting blocked by the 17 of Chris Buescher. Well, he got blocked in by the 17 of Chris Buescher again and had to back up a little bit. That's why he lost spots on pit road again. And they say that they're backed up a little bit so that Denny Hamlin's stopping further back in his pit stall to try to buy some extra room, but it didn't help that time.
All right, thanks a lot there, Brad McMillan. Lights still on here on the pace car as they roll by. And we'll try to give you a full field rundown this time as they set the field. And it is going to be Ryan Preece up front as he pitted on lap 201. So Preece is going to be shown the race leader. Christopher Bell will be second. William Byron third. Bubba Wallace fourth. Fifth will belong to Chase Elliott. Brad Keselowski sixth. Tyler Reddick seventh. Eighth will be Ty Gibbs. Ninth is Denny Hamlin. And 10th is Josh Berry.
11th is Ross Chastain, Alex Bowman 12th, 13th Todd Gilliland, Daniel Suarez 14th, 15th Michael McDowell. Kyle Busch has battled back to 16th, 17th Martin Truex Jr., Justin Haley 18th, 19th Chase Briscoe, and Justin Allgaier subbing for Kyle Larson, again doing a great job today and now tonight in 20th.
Kyle Larson scheduled to get here in about 25 minutes. 21st is Daniel Hemrick. 22nd, Joey Logano. And their struggles just continue this year. It looks like North Wilkesboro might have been an aberration. Austin Cindric is 23rd. 24th is Eric Jones. Austin Dillon 25th. Carson Hocevar 26th. 27th, Chris Buescher. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 28th. 29th is John Hunter Nemechek. And Zane Smith is 30th.
31st spot goes to Kaz Gralla, Jimmy Johnson in 32nd, Shane Van Gisbergen in 33rd. 34th is Corey LaJoie, the last car on the lead lap. -1 in 35th, Harrison Burton. -3 in 36th is Ty Dillon. -8 in 37th is BJ McLeod. 3 drivers are out. Noah Gragson will get credit for 38th. Ryan Blaney 39th, and the first car out was J.J. Yeley. That was a leaderboard brought to you by AutoZone. Get deals to start your summer right at AutoZone with the Memorial Day let's try that again. Get deals to start your summer right at AutoZone with the Memorial Day sale. Save on brake, wash, and wax, and more this weekend only. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
All right, all of that rundown that we gave you, everybody on the lead lap kick up one spot because Ryan Preece did go on to pit road, and that means Christopher Bell is now the new race leader.
So he hung out and let a lap.
Yeah, good for him. So we're halfway home here in the Coca-Cola 600. We were watching the radar a moment ago. There are showers in the way, but I see a path. I envision a clear path and a parting of the thunderstorms that we're going to not be interrupted tonight.
And your middle name is Moses.
I feel good about it. I am the Kwisatz Haderach of weather forecasting here. I know all. So let's get this thing done.
You mean Noah, right, Mark?
Yeah.
Noah. There we go. We may need the boat.
Our Bible scholars are battling here, folks. All right, Pat. Turn us loose here.
All right, well, we're ready to get it going. Lights are off on the pace car. Here's Christopher Bell and William Byron up here with Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, and Brad Keselowski. The lights are flashing. We're ready to go.
95 laps to go here in stage 3. Seabell on the point right now as they get up through the gearbox. Bell on the jump to his outside. It's William Byron. Bell has a slight advantage, but Byron hangs tough on the outside.
Bell had his choice. He picked the inside lane. Let's see if that was a good choice because William Byron will fight him all the way into the center of turn number 2. Bell with a half car length advantage off the corner, but here comes Byron on the top side. Tight racing for the lead here at the 600. Here goes Christopher Bell. Bottom of the racetrack, William Byron not giving an inch and stays side by side on 4.
William Byron riding up against the safer barrier, trying to outmuscle Christopher Bell. They're still door-to-door. Behind them, door-to-door, Keselowski inside, Wallace up top.
2 young superstars who probably will be like this at the end of the season battling for a championship. Christopher Bell on turn 2, still down low. Byron not giving up anything on the high side. Good battle with these 2 guys. Nobody giving any quarter here as they race into turn 3 just like they just did. Bottom of the racetrack, that's where Christopher Bell may gain the advantage this time on 4.
Bell on the bottom, digs hard, cuts the nose off of Byron's car. He'll take the lead away from William Byron. Now the battle goes back to third place. It's Keselowski and Bubba Wallace.
Keselowski running the bottom lane. Middle group belongs to Bubba Wallace, but Brad will have the advantage edge off turn 2. He'll take the third spot. Tyler Reddick is rolling bad there on the backstretch, just about to catch that group for that fifth spot. Here goes Reddick to the bottom of the racetrack. He wants to get up and see if he can challenge Bubba Wallace.
Behind Reddick, a three-car fight for the sixth position. Elliott, Gibbs, Hamlin. They thunder out of turn 4. Hamlin side by side with Gibbs as again they try to track down Chase Elliott.
Ty Gibbs parlayed the best pit position to a restart spot, but he has yet to make his way back up to the top 5. He'll race side by side with Hamlin down the backstretch. Watching Brad Keselowski, man, he has got a fast car tonight. He's moved up into that third spot, goes down to the bottom of the racetrack. He'd like to get up there and challenge William Byron.
Battle is going to be for second here shortly as they come back across start-finish line. It is Brad Kay in that shiny number 6 trying to gain on William Byron.
And by the way, we're halfway through this race, and all 3 lanes are being utilized, both ends of the racetrack. Off turn number 2, it is Bell with about a 3-car length lead over Byron. Down the backstretch, here we come. Christopher Bell with a good 8-10 car lead now as he goes to the very bottom of the racetrack. Behind him, though, it is William Byron and Brad Keselowski.
Chase Elliott also on the move now as he works his way out of turn number 4. He's trying to dig inside Bubba Wallace as we cross the stripe. 89 laps to go here in stage number 3.
Keep an eye on that battle for position. It is Chase Elliott way down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to keep him pitched down there, Bubba Wallace, and he'll do it successfully this time off too. Ty Gibbs now rockets up to get in the middle of that battle there as they work down the backstretch once again, trying to move up a spot. Ty Gibbs with a fast race car picks up that position for Bubba Wallace, or maybe not.
We need to pause 10 seconds now for station identification. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network. Welcome back to the Coca-Cola 600. We have 88 laps to go in stage 3. This race very unique. It has 4 separate stages, and right now Christopher Bell leads by about 0.6 of a second. But Brad Keselowski's the guy that's really impressing us tonight, Mark Arrow.
He certainly has. He's improved 21 positions from the start of the race. He said he wasn't happy with qualifying and had a little bit of a struggle there last night, but he is certainly running well. Watched the battle a moment ago. We had Ross Chastain getting by Kyle Busch. Busch now running 11th, is getting pressure from Daniel Suarez. Meanwhile, a little farther up again, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, side by side as they exit 4. Wallace has the spot. Rather, that was Ty Gibbs. Gibbs could not hold his car down on the bottom of the racetrack. Let's go to Wendy Venturini.
Just a few moments ago, Pat Patterson told us that the 54 of Ty Gibbs was the fastest car on the racetrack. That's what a lot of the teams are saying on the radio as well. Tyler Reddick, who's currently running 4th, is trying to mimic the same line as Ty Gibbs. They mentioned that Ty was trying the high lane, and that's exactly where Tyler Reddick is trying to put his race car to get the same lap times that Ty Gibbs has, who's running behind him.
Good battles going on all over the racetrack. Let's pick up the one between Ty Gibbs and Denny Hamlin for 6.
Get Hamlin on the bottom, groove around the racetrack. A lap ago, he drew even. Ty Gibbs crushes the outside wall, leaves tire marks on it. He'll lose another spot to Chase Elliott. Yeah, he will as he tries to figure out what the hurt damaged that car at all. Gibbs will go up next to the wall once again, and it appears like he's in pretty good shape. Don't see any smoke coming off the tires.
So as they work their way out of turn 4, again, Gibbs up on top of the racetrack. Also a little farther back, Daniel Suarez, Kyle Busch are duking it out for 11th place.
They'll battle into turn number 1. Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez fighting for that 11th position. Suarez all the way to the bottom. He'll force Kyle Busch up a lane. Busch, however, will have the advantage, and he'll try to chase down Chastain. They'll go single file, look up front again. Keselowski going up to the top side of the racetrack, trying to make some ground on William Byron.
It is remarkable today. Rob Albright alluded to this. How much racetrack these cars are using. They can go anywhere. Keselowski trying to make a move for second.
Well, this might not be a battle for very long. Brad is extremely fast. He moves way up to above the center lane. That doesn't leave William Byron through, but they'll be door to door to 3. And that's exactly the way they're going to race into the corner here. Keselowski takes that forward to the bottom of the racetrack. Upstairs goes William Byron, but Keselowski's going to get the better of him off turn 4.
Keselowski now drifts up the racetrack. He blocks the path of William Byron as he takes over the number 2 spot. Catching those 2 cars in a hurry, Tyler Reddick.
Well, Wendy talked about Tyler Reddick moving up to mimic the line being used by Ty Gibbs. You really don't have to talk too much to Tyler Reddick to get him to run the top, do you, Pat? No, he loves it up there, and he's really good up there as well. He can use that little bit of cushion between the wall and his car to his advantage, and he is moving up right now. Really quick, trying to catch that lead group.
Been a lot of fun racing inside of the top 10 here today. Now Brad Keselowski has secured that 2nd spot, and we'll see if he can get up there and wrestle for the lead as we take a timeout with 81 laps to go in stage 3. It's Christopher Bell, Keselowski, Byron, Reddick, and Wallace making up the top 5.
To show you how easy it is to file a claim with Geico, we hired a Shakespearean actor.
Oh, woe is me. Wherefore are thy claims help when I hadst a fender bender?
Pardon the interruption. When you file a claim with Geico, your claims team will be in touch right away.
But willest thee forget about me later when thou needest updates?
No. They'll always be there to, helpeth you out.
Well, I suppose that I should be known something else, like my lactose intolerance. Oh, why must dairy disagree with me so savagely?
Geico. Great service without all the drama.
Hi, it's PRN's Brad Gilly. Did you know you can take PRN with you anywhere? That's right. By downloading the PRN mobile app, you can listen to our live race broadcast from anywhere. Make sure you don't miss a second of the action from the track. Download today for station listings and on-demand access to your favorite studio shows like Fast Talk, Pit Reporters, or Garage Pass. Get all the latest racing information at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app. Download today, available in the Apple App Store and on Google Play.
I've got another great way to stay up to date on all the great PRN programming. Visit our YouTube channel at GoPRN Live. There you'll find expert opinions, race breakdowns, and much more from our great lineup of studio programming. Like and subscribe to GoPRN Live today. So with 78 laps to go in stage number 3, 178 laps to go in the race, we have a battle for the lead on the backstretch. Bell trying to hold off Brad Keselowski.
Brad K keeps cutting that margin down. He almost had him passed here just a couple of laps ago. Works the high side of the racetrack. Bell has to go up high to take that line away from Brad K as they race off the corner.
Last lap, Keselowski, fastest man on the racetrack. He closes in. They flash across the stripe and complete lap 1, 2:23. They're back in 1.
And this pair has put about 20 car lengths of distance between themselves and the 3rd place car of William Byron off turn 2. The advantage for Bell over Keselowski, 3 car lengths. Yeah, he moves back up and increases that lead a little bit. We'll see what Brad wants to do down on this end of the racetrack. He goes up right up next to the wall. It's Bell staying down at the bottom of the racetrack. They come off the corner about the same margin.
Bell drifts up the racetrack. Keselowski was already there. Only a car length separation as they flash across the stripe, head back to 1.
Pretty interesting watching this. Here comes Keselowski once again, but Christopher Bell moves down half the lane. That squeezes Brad. Brad will settle up behind him, but the gap is just stable at about a car length. Yeah, down here on this end of the racetrack, you got these bumps to contend with. You don't have as much choice of lane when you do down in turns 1 and 2. Once again, Keselowski right in his tire track.
Those 2 drivers, the fastest cars on the racetrack last lap, they are driving away from a great 3rd place battle between William Byron and Tyler Reddick.
That is a good battle. Last time, both ends of the racetrack, Tyler Reddick used the bottom lane to get even with Byron. Couldn't complete the pass. He'll do the same again as the lead remains stable. Bell, 3 car lengths of Keselowski. We got a battle for 1st and 2nd. We got a battle for 3rd and 4th. For 3rd and 4th right now. Up front, Keselowski trying to close that distance on the leader, Christopher Bell, all 4.
They come down to the stripe, 74 laps to go in stage number 3. We owe our local affiliates a break. This is it. You're listening to PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Where's his place in all of this?
So I look at Jimmy Johnson, and maybe I have a little bit different perspective because I grew up with Richard Petty while he was winning all of his championships and stuff. And it was tough. It's tough to win championships. I mean, so many great drivers, as we go back in time, won lots of races and never won championships. So many great drivers won lots of races, never won Daytona. Those big moments, they just couldn't get over that hump. So to win 7, no matter how you win 7, is amazing. I believe, and I have said this a million times on a million different occasions, Jimmy Johnson's 5 in a row is the most underrated record in all of sports. It gets very little attention. Very little attention. We talk about Tiger Woods winning all these majors. We talk about Michael Jordan and LeBron James. You talk about everything that Richard Petty has done, everything Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s done. 5 in a row. Nobody's done 5 in a row.
Caution flag number 6 is now waving at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Trouble in turn number 2.
Yeah, a bad night for Corey LaJoie. Just got a little bit worse as he solo spun his way through turn number 2. Did not hit either the inside or the outside wall. Collected it and drove on down the back straightaway. But, man, it has just not been a good one for Corey LaJoie tonight.
Man, he slid sideways a long way. Plumes of smoke coming out from behind that Chili's Chevrolet, and he made light contact back of the car and the wall, then slid down to the apron of the racetrack, bouncing along as he comes off the banking down to that flat spot on the apron of the racetrack. And again, luckily, nobody ran into Corey, and this is caution flag number 6 here in the Coca-Cola 600.
Some people just know the more you protect, the more you save with Allstate. Because they know insurance math. Like if you protect your home and auto, Allstate can save you up to 25%. So it's like losing money if you don't bundle. Save more when you protect more. Bundle home and auto with Allstate today.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
O'Reilly. Extend the life of your engine with regular oil changes and save at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, pick up 5 quarts of O'Reilly full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $31.99. Or upgrade to a MicroGuard Select filter for just $2 more. Limit supply available in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Pit road remains closed. When we come back, we should have a bunch of pit stops. Again, we are 71 laps away from the end of stage 3. 171 laps to go still in the 65th running of the Coca-Cola 600. And this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
If you have a chance to make a difference in a kid's life, you need to take full advantage of that opportunity.
For those kids to know somebody has their back, somebody is caring about them, thinking about them when they feel like nobody is.
Anything that I can do now to support Speedway Children's Charities, I do because I've seen the work firsthand.
We owe it to children, no matter where they come from.
Unfortunately, there is no end to some of the terrible atrocities in our world. Speedway Children's Charities can feel really good that we are getting the most good out of every dollar that's given. At Speedway Children's Charities,
Our mission
It's simple.
help every child we can.
Because all children
deserve joy.
And hope.
And love.
And if one child is still in need,
Then there's still work to do.
Because their future is our future.
And there's still so much they can teach us.
find out more at speedwaycharities.org.
Pit road's open. Let's go down to O'Reilly Auto Parts pit reporter Wendy Venturini.
Lightning could be 20 miles out. That's a lot of the call from crew chiefs and what their strategy is for Tyler Reddick. They're going to tighten him up and plan for the long run. He's currently in the 4th spot. As for Bubba Wallace running in the 5th, he says he can't be too aggressive with his race car. So they are making adjustments for tires and Sunoco fuel. Brad Gilly.
Here's your race leader, Christopher Bell. He told Adam Stevens the last pit stop changes didn't make a difference. He'll get a bigger air pressure adjustment. He's already down and away. Brett McMillan.
Kyle Busch comes in. They're saying if this goes beyond this fuel run, you're going to have to go like crazy. Save the tires. They're giving a 4-tire change. Left side tires on. As he pulls out, Kyle Busch ready to go the rest of the way at this stage.
Christopher Bell, first on, first off. Keselowski, number 2 on, and he is the second man off the pit lane. And up 1 is Tyler Reddick. Up 4, again, that number 1 pit stall paying off for Ty Gibbs. He jumps 4 spots up to 4th. William Byron loses 2 in 5th. Up 1, Chase Elliott in 6th. Bubba Wallace loses a couple of spots. He is 7th off the pit lane. Denny Hamlin again a loser. He's -2 in 8th. Then Alex Bowman and Ross Chastain, they came in 9th and 10th. And they were the 9th and 10th cars coming off the pit lane.
Still a lot of racing to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Coca-Cola 600. 169 laps remaining. 69 to go here in stage 3.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Whether your engine runs daily or only when you need it, Z-Max Micro Lubricant is the force you need against carbon buildup that can damage your engine. Combustion causes carbon and other harmful deposits to build up on your engine, fuel system, and transmission. And carbon is like sandpaper rubbing against your engine's internal parts. You don't want that. You want Z-Max Micro Lubricant. It soaks into metal and keeps your vehicle running at peak performance. Find out more at zmax.com or visit us on Facebook and Twitter. Protect your engine to the max with Z-Max.
Daniel Suarez will have to go to the back of the pack here, removing equipment from the pit box on the number 99 machine. Is your insurance playbook too confusing? Make it easy. Switch to Geico and get all your insurance coverage in one place. Go to geico.com today to get started. From the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hey, this is Carson Osvar, and you're listening to Country Radio Hall of Famers Kathy Martindale and Paul Shad on Racing Country Classic.
It's Kathy and Tim McGraw.
I can see you getting more into the technical. I can see you producing.
It's a fun thing to learn. I enjoy doing it. When I get the opportunities to do it, I try to learn as much as I can.
Hey, it's Kathy Martindale and Paul Shad on Racing Country Classic.
Racing Country Classic.
Each year, vehicle trespasser and pedestrian accidents along railroads change the course of innocent lives, from train operators and passengers to families and first responders. Interacting safely with tracks and trains is the goal. It's important to be alert when approaching crossings. Never drive or walk around lowered gates. Do not walk on or beside the tracks. Trespassing is dangerous and illegal. Don't risk your life. Keep clear and stay safe. For more information, visit metrolinktrains.com/stay safe.
Let's go downstairs and get a Sunoco fuel strategy from Brad Gilly.
Doug, with those rounds of pit stops right there and the Sunoco fuel packed into the tanks, the teams can go to the end of this stage. The big question, will they have to? With rain and lightning coming toward the speedway, they're not sure they're going to make it, but they do have enough Sunoco fuel to get to the end of stage 3.
From fueling your favorite NASCAR teams to filling up the pump, Sunoco is trusted to help vehicles perform at their peak. Sunoco, performance is what we do.
So just landing behind us at the Concord Airport, Kyle Larson's car has landed. He started 5th in the Indy 500, finished 18th, led 4 laps, ran as high as the 6th position. The race start was delayed. He got just here in Charlotte, and he'll be the last relief driver, by the way, to win a race. Darrell Waltrip, he replaced Donnie Allison at Talladega back in 1977.
So we're watching now as they flash across the start-finish line. Really, they're not flashing. They're caution speed. And they have elongated this yellow flag for at least one more lap here. So it looks like it'll be 1 to go this coming time by. Let's give you a top 20 rundown. Christopher Bell is the race leader. Brad Keselowski second. Tyler Reddick third. Gibbs is 4th. 5th goes to Chase Elliott. Byron rides 6th. 7th is Bubba Wallace. Hamlin 8th. 9th to Chastain. And 10th is Alex Bowman.
Michael McDowell 11th. Josh Berry 12th. 13th Martin Truex Jr. Justin Allgaier 14th, subbing for Kyle Larson. Joey Logano 15th. 16th Todd Gilliland. Kyle Busch 17th. 18th Carson Hocevar. Daniel Hemrick 19th. 20th Austin Cindric.
That run brought to you by RaceDayNFT.com. Are you a true racing fan? Do you like adding these little die-cast cars and race weekend hats to your collection? Then race over to RaceDayNFT.com and sign up for free to get the best in collectibles delivered right to your door. Well, the light's still off on that Toyota pace car, and it looks like we'll go back to racing here. It'll be 65 laps to go, Mark Garrow, when they come back to the line here in stage 3.
Absolutely. And after that, we still have 100 more laps to go in this 65th running of the Coca-Cola 600. Pace car hangs a left-hand turn, heads on to pit road. Christopher Bell, Brad Keselowski will lead the field. 37 cars remaining in this race into the Geico restart zone. Green flags back out. Keselowski does not let go of Christopher Bell. They're door-to-door in turn number 1.
Actually, was a little bit surprised that Christopher Bell elected to get to fan out, pick a different lane from the race leader, the guy in front of you. That's exactly what's happening. 2, 3 wide in the banking off turn 2. Here comes Keselowski to put the heat on Bell. Keselowski now a car length back of Christopher Bell. They pull away from the third running car as we watch him go down to the bottom of the racetrack now. Here's Christopher Bell up alongside 4.
He shoots the bottom. Keselowski on the top of them. They exit. They are nose to tail. Now almost across the apron of the racetrack, Tyler Reddick tries to make the pass on Ty Gibbs.
Reddick let go low. Gibbs runs the high side. Now Gibbs keeps him pushed down. Ty running in the middle lane. No place for Tyler to go. He gets rolled kinds of sideways on turn 2. They work down the backstretch. Once again, Gibbs out in front of Tyler Reddick. William Byron is right there. Denny Hamlin is there as well. Everybody jockeying around at the bottom of the racetrack now.
A mad scramble here at Charlotte. They know weather could be on the way. Riding in third right now. It's going to be Ty Gibbs. Right behind him is Reddick. Next in line, it's Byron, Hamlin, Chase Elliott.
Bell pulling away 8 car lengths over Keselowski. Side by are the cars of Tyler Reddick and Ty Gibbs, and they're continuing to tied together. Locked together for that third spot. There, Ty Gibbs and Tyler Reddick, bottom of the racetrack. Reddick tries to get a nose out in front, can just barely do it off of turn number 4.
Christopher Bell has now led the most laps tonight, 80 and counting. Meanwhile, here's Byron, shoots to the inside of Tyler Reddick, and on the outside of Reddick was Ty Gibbs.
William Byron got tired of watching them race door to door, and he said, "Fine, guys, by both of you into the third position." He'll now try to chase down the front 2. William Byron has had a fast car all night, but can he run down the 2 leaders as they work into turn 3? Byron leads a group of 3 to 5 cars there, awfully fast. Tyler Reddick's involved in that, as well as Ty Gibbs.
Bold move there by William Byron to wrestle away that third spot. He made it 3 wide along the front stretch. Chase Elliott's been hanging out in the back of the top 10 all night long, Rob. And he's trying to get around Hamlin.
And some lightning flashes off in the distance, so these guys are running really hard at the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get around Denny Hamlin. Is the machine of Chase Elliott. Ross Chastain also in the mix there, as well as Alex Bowman. Those cars all battling back there as tight as they can into turn number 3. 3 wide momentarily there as Mark Truex Jr.'s in the middle of it.
Truex now powers across the start-finish line. He's trying to gain some ground as he looks inside right now. Looks like he's picked up a spot over Bubba Wallace.
The front 5 are all running single file. 6, 7 now single file. The first battle for position is for the 8th spot. That's where Ross Chastain goes to the inside of Chase Elliott. Chastain trying to make some ground here now. He'll have to go nose to tail into the corner. Elliott goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Chastain right in the middle of the racetrack. He'll lose ground this time out.
Chase Elliott trying to dig his way up toward the front, slipped back a little bit. Watching Ross Chastain right now. He is trying to make the move on Elliott. Elliott working all over Denny Hamlin.
Chase Elliott now, Denny Hamlin will go to the low side, trying to pick up a position around Chase Elliott. Elliott will fight to the high side. Not enough room out there, whether that's Ty Gibbs battling for that position on Hamlin. Move Hamlin up the spot in front of Ty Gibbs now as he goes to work the top 5. Ty Gibbs goes back to the bottom of the racetrack to try to counter the move that Denny Hamlin just made.
So Hamlin now 5th, then it's Ty Gibbs behind Gibbs, Elliott, Chastain, Bowman, along with Berry, then side by side, Truex and Bubba Wallace.
And things begin to close up just a little bit among the top 2 as Keselowski dropped back about 10 or 12 car lengths, and slowly but surely, Pat, he's coming. And Brad Keselowski, one more time, trying to close that gap on the leader, Christopher Bell, knowing it could be one of those cases where you get a race for the win. He's trying to chase him down.
Keselowski ran right up next to the wall that last lap down turning 3 and 4, and it's helped a little bit. He picked up maybe a car length.
You know, he's not typically known as a guy to run the wall, but he's doing it when he needs to. This time, both of the front two run a middle groove. Neither one to the top, neither one to the bottom, and the gap remains stable. Meanwhile, the battle rages back there with Tyler Reddick and Denny Hamlin down the backstretch. Hamlin can't quite find the way around Reddick. He'll go to the bottom of the racetrack again. The battle for the 4th spot. Can't get anything done. Caution is out on the racetrack as we've got some precipitation.
And that's exactly right. NASCAR says reports of precipitation. That'll be caution flag number 7. We've been seeing just a smattering of rain over the last couple of laps, and that's enough to say for NASCAR to say, okay, let's take a break here. Hopefully we don't get any lightning within an 8-mile radius, because just to refresh you, remembering last week at North Wilkesboro, we had a plethora of them. That's a 30-minute break. That's a 30-minute hold if we get lightning. Right now, this is just for rain in the area. Very, very slight shower.
And so again, the yellow flag is flapping in the breeze for the 7th time in this Coca-Cola 600. So glad you could join us here on PRN. Mark Garrow with Doug Rice, who is doing the double today as the honorary pace car driver in his usual spot here in the broadcast booth. Turns 1 and 2 manned as always by Rob Albright. 3 and 4 by the racing guy. Of course, Pat Patterson, our O'Reilly Auto Parts pit reporters, Wendy Venturini, Brad Gilley, and Brett McMillan.
And during this pause, it looks like the helipad's going to get busy as Kyle Larson has arrived back from Indianapolis. He ran well today, had a speeding penalty that cost him a good finish. He was 18th in the Indy 500, and he'll come in now and take over the ride for Justin Allgaier. And if we have a rain break, it might be an opportunity for him to actually get in the car without a panic type situation.
Yeah, this could play to his advantage if we have rain that will kind of pass by us as quickly as possible. Doug, you've been to IndyCar races at Indianapolis, and you probably paid a little more attention to those cars than I have. Do they have buttons for pit road speed? Do those cars have something where you hit it and then it gets you down and it's a matter of hitting it at the right spot?
I don't think so. I think they leave that up to the talent of the drivers.
Just like we do in NASCAR?
I think so, but
Nick Yeoman, Mark Janes, if you're listening,
one of those guys could let us know if I'm way out and all wet on that. And by the way, that is a spectacle as much as this race is, that if you're a race fan and you get a chance to ever be in Speedway, Indiana on Memorial Day Sunday, if you're not here at Charlotte, that's worth taking in. We've got the field single file right now, and this is when I say slight shower, emphasis on the slight, it is just barely raining. It's almost imperceptible from our location up here in the booth, and we're right above the start-finish line, so the field still going around. As we've told you on 100 other occasions, the best way to keep these tracks dry is to keep these behemoths out there, putting heat down into the racetrack, and hopefully getting us back to racing before too long. And as of right now, looking out, Mark, I can't see any rain at all. Maybe just a drop or two every now and then. This is just the slightest of showers. And one of the other barometers I use are the fans. Nobody's running up to get under the concourse or pulling out their ponchos right now.
No, they're not. There's a few kind of easing their way up through the aisles, but that's to make a pit stop or head for the concession stand.
Yeah, that's right. That's a break of another kind, as the field is trotting around right now in single file under our 7th yellow of the day, and this is a weather delay here. 153 laps to go. We're not surprised by this. We were told earlier today there was a good chance. Hopefully this is kind of like Stenhouse's swing at Kyle Busch last week. It's just a glancing blow, and we don't get hit with the big force.
Yeah. I thought it was more than the glancing blow. I was right there. I thought it was a pretty good shot.
Did you get knocked down in the fight?
No, I got knocked back. I went flying, but luckily there was nothing behind me to trip me up. So I got blown out, but I fought my way right back into the picture.
I have no doubt that you did. And there were some media members that took a tumble.
Yeah, because they were on the other side. There were tires and different things they tripped over. I was kind of hoping somebody kind of took a swing at me so I could kind of get in on
We can see up on the big screen now that Kyle Larson is in the infield here and on a big golf cart making his way over to the garage area. So we'll soon see Kyle Larson back in the cockpit of the number 5 HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. We'll take a timeout as we're under a little weather delay here at Charlotte.
Fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR. From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
Silence is golden, especially when it comes to brakes. That's why Napa Silent Guard are built to be one of the smoothest and most quiet brakes on the market. Made with fiber-reinforced shims that eliminate noise for the life of the pad, rubber-coated hardware for a better fit, and quality design that meets and exceeds OE performance. Silent Guard brakes deliver the stopping power drivers demand. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
There he is. There he is.
And welcome back to the Coca-Cola 600. We're 248 laps in, under caution right now for slight precipitation. Kyle Larson has just arrived here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. He jogged into his pit. He is now putting on his helmet. He's already got the Hans device on. He came with his uniform already on. Now, his team has not talked about pitting yet, but he is ready to get into the car. He's getting his helmet strapped on right now, so when the car comes into pit, Justin Allgaier will come out. Kyle Larson will go in. Allgaier said this week when he was getting into the car, he said, it's great because we're about the same size. Seat fit great. So Kyle Larson now talking with his team as he's getting ready, pulling on the gloves. So once they come into pit, Kyle Larson will be ready to hop into the car as he has just arrived from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
We should send Allgaier a thank you note. He is going to inherit a car that's currently in 13th place.
And again, I think this car is going to take a big step up. Allgaier, outstanding job, but he's not Kyle Larson with all that experience in that car with that team. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next. We owe our stations a local break. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Time to pull down on the handle and start rolling them here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
The green flag flies at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
We're about to contest the Coca-Cola 600. We're racing at Texas Motor Speedway.
Now Keselowski goes way up the racetrack.
Here goes Harrison Burton. He rockets to the lead.
Trouble. Hunter goes around. It's Chris Buescher.
Trail battles to the outside. They come back to the start-finish line.
Bubba Wallace looks inside. And now here's Byron. Takes a quick left to block him. They head back to 1.
Here goes Ross Chastain. He's going to the bottom of the racetrack. Bubba goes up. Blaney hits the outside wall off of turn 2. Can Christopher Bell do anything with him? He gets down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Briscoe dives to the bottom of the racetrack. Side by side. They get loose. They spin. Now Tyler Reddick does the 360. So does Briscoe.
Heading into turn number 7 as he wraps it around. The crowd is cheering for Daniel Suarez here on this final lap.
Allmendinger gets into Alex Bowman. Ross Chastain back out to the front for the final time.
This is PRN.
We're back at Charlotte Motor Speedway under a lightning delay. The teams are now coming down pit road. They're parking in their pit boxes, and this will mean at least a 30-minute delay, again, because of lightning within 8 miles of the racetrack. And again, the cars are being brought slowly down pit lane. They are not going to park in line on the track. They are parking in their pit boxes.
And we do have a little bit of light rainfall, and this is the most rain that we've seen during this delay. Not lost the racetrack yet, but the rain has definitely picked up here at Charlotte Motor Speedway as we are under a weather delay, frozen in time with 51 laps to go here in the third stage. Remember, 4 stages tonight here for the Coca-Cola 600 as we go silent here while we wait out a 30-minute lightning delay. Of course, they raced the Indianapolis 500 a little bit earlier today. Let's get a report.
Mark James, Davey Hamilton recapping the 108th Indianapolis 500-mile race, and it was Joseph Newgarden going back-to-back, Davey, for the first time since Helio Castroneves pulled off the feed back in 2001, 2002.
He makes it look good, Mark. It wasn't easy for him. He did the last pass going into turn 3 on the outside around Pato Ward. A great finish and a great second win for Newgarden.
Once the varying pit strategies played itself out, it would be a battle between O'Ward, Dixon, Rossi, Palou, and Joseph Newgarden, but Newgarden would make a late race pass in turn number 3, and he was obviously overjoyed in victory lane.
Oh, it was amazing. I was so loose. You have no idea. I almost lost the car like 6 times on the last stint. Like, literally almost wrecked in the turn 1. Oh, that was so much fun. I was nerve-wracking, but it was so much fun. These guys drove incredible. I mean, we were flat out the last 30 laps, completely flat.
16 leaders, 48 lead changes. Davey had got off to a disjointed start after a long rain delay. We had 8 cautions for 47 laps all in all.
Yeah, that's not good. We did get off. It was rough, but boy, it was rough. It was rough because the rain.
Oh, I love it when it cuts out, don't you?
Mark took forever to get the track dry. It got a late start. It's dark now that it's finished, but it all paid off.
As we mentioned, Pato O'Ward finishes runner-up. He was almost inconsolable. He thought he had the race won.
Yeah, and I thought he had the race won. I'll be really honest with you. He did such a good job. The timing seemed to be good, doing it on the white flag lap, but just not enough to hold Joseph back down that back straightaway.
Been a while since we saw someone go back-to-back at the
Yeah, 2001, Helio Castroneves trying to do 5. By the way, Castroneves did not get that done, finished at P20.
McLaughlin, Kirkwood, Ferrucci, VK, and Daly complete the top 10. The points heading to the Detroit Grand Prix look like this. Alex Palou leads Scott Dixon by 20. Will Power is 26 points back. Pato O'Ward and Colton Herta are tied at 49 points back. So again, Joseph Newgarden goes back-to-back. He wins the 108th Indianapolis 500.
Thanks a lot there to Mark James and Davey Hamilton of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Radio Network. And, of course, inside that report, it was Kyle Larson finishing 18th after getting busted on pit road speeding. He came in too hot to the pits, and it relegated him back into the back of the pack. He did run as high as 6th place today. Appreciate the update there from Indy. They have put the car covers out. Let's go downstairs now and check in with Brad Gilly.
Thank you, Doug. Yeah, the car cover is on the Toyota Camry XSE of our race leader, Christopher Bell. And first, let's just talk about this race. You've led the most laps so far. I know you and Adam Stevens have been talking about the changes and what your car is feeling and how this track is changing. If we go back to racing, what do you need? What do you want to go on and win this one?
I mean, I feel like we can get the car a little bit better. We've been trying to adjust on it as the night came. I'm sure everybody's cars are changing, but we're trying to keep up with it, and I feel like there's a little bit to go. Luckily, we have the track position right now, so I'm able to, keep the lead, but the 6 car is pretty fast. So, I think that we're going to need to work on it if we're going to win this race.
If we don't go back to racing, is Christopher Bell going to be a happy man here tonight?
I'm not even going to talk about it. We got 150 laps to go. That's more than a truck race.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, there's Christopher Bell. He is your race leader right now. Obviously does not want to put any bad mojo, any bad karma on things, but there's no question they have had a very, very fast race car here tonight, guys.
You know, Doug, it was a tough break with the weather in Indy for Kyle Larson, so he didn't get here to start the race. But weather in this lightning hold that we have now at Charlotte Motor Speedway couldn't play out any better for Kyle Larson. Justin Allgaier casually getting out of the car. We get ready to restart. Kyle Larson will casually get back in with 151 laps to go. Let's go to Wendy Venturini.
Bubba Wallace down here talking to Booty Barker. Bubba, it seemed like the pace picked up quite a bit here the last few laps. Were you seeing that in the reaction of your race car?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, track temp's cooling down, so it allows us to get after it more, and just a little too tight on our Toyota Camry. So we just got to hopefully get back going here. I know we're a top 3 or 4 race car. Just got behind, and got behind at the wrong time. So we need to hopefully luck's on our side here. Get us some adjustments, get back up there.
What kind of feedback do you want to give Booty during this time out of the race car, talking face to face? That's very unusual for this circumstance on a night like this.
Yeah, you just want to be as detailed as you can. You know, we're air pressures and some wedge, and other than that, we can't rebuild the car, right? So you just try to be as detailed as you can to hopefully come up with a game plan to be better.
right, thanks for your time, Bubba Wallace. Doing some debrief right now. Brad Gilly.
Ross Chastain has been up and down throughout the top 10. Even led some laps here tonight, but obviously a little bit of pit strategy that's different from the rest of the field a couple of times here. But tell me about this race car here, Ross. How you feeling?
Well, have a seat, Brad. We're sitting here on the wall here on pit road. Yeah, definitely a great call to cycle ourselves forward there at the beginning of stage 2. It felt good to lead. Like, it just feels good to be winning at something. I'm a competitor, and it's just good to lead laps again. And we're competitively and been throughout the night in the top 10, anywhere from 15th to about 8th where we're at right now. So we're working on the car. There's a balance for me for our jockey Chevy of how comfortable is it and how confident can I drive it and how fast is it. So as we tend to make it more comfortable, they tend to go slower. As they tend to make it more uncomfortable, I never know if I'm going to crash, and I don't want to tear up this beautiful Folds of Honor red, white, and blue Chevy with Aaron Torian's name on it, but we're finding that balance on the one car for sure.
It really is a great-looking car. I'm curious about something that you told Phil Surgeon a little earlier in the race. You said, hey, remember that bump I told you about in 2? It's actually maybe the seam or it's the transition into the resin. Can you describe what that is?
Yeah, I thought in practice that I was hitting a bump there and it was compressing. And with these Gen 7 cars we're all racing now for this is year 3, we put the rear of the car right down next to the track. So anytime it's going to hit the ground, it's going to be with the rear shocks, where the old car, Xfinity truck, you're hitting the front. You're hitting the front shaft springs or front splitter. So we're hitting the shocks in the rear diffuser. So I thought in practice I was hitting the shock. And Daniel Suarez, my teammate, even said, I don't know, amigo, that might not be. And I confirmed it that, yes, okay, that was the sealer. I just wasn't paying attention to it enough. I'm looking so far ahead, I don't even know what's going underneath the car. So, yeah, I just finally had, 50 laps to kind of hone in on it and focus.
What kind of fucking selfie angle is this? Why are we talking to the leader right now? Isn't he trying to focus? I mean, why?
After we led, we came down about 5th place, and I slipped through the box. So that set us back, and we've been slowly from 17th, 16th, 18th, somewhere in there, slowly back to 8th. Like, it's not easy to pass. It's so tough, and I have a lot of fun, though. I mean, it's just a ton of fun. I've raced with my teammate. I've raced with other Chevys, some other cars, and it's a handful. We're doing slide jobs, driving low, slide up, rip the fence. The restarts are wild, and a lot of pit stops. So we're continuing to work on our car just like everybody else. But I mean, right now we're a 5th place car running 8th. I just got to get there from, and I'm still making up from when I slipped through my box. So if we make another adjustment or 2, that 5th place car can win the World 600.
All right, watermelon tastes good no matter how late it is. So go smash that on the front straightaway. If we get the rest of this one in, then we'll go sing karaoke.
I'll meet you there.
All right, there he is, Ross Chastain. Getting pretty windy down here, guys.
I can hear it through your mic screen there, Brad Gilly, and the wind has picked up, and so has the rain here. We'll keep you posted as we move through the evening. We'll take a break and be right back.
The sound of your antique fountain pen gliding across linen paper as you journal in the park. And if you were here, you'd be inspired by the warm breeze. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. And the wind in your face on the road is all the inspiration you need. So if you ride, get a quote and see if you could save with Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Now that's inspiring. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
20 laps left in this race with 5 drivers low on fuel.
Took me a whole tank of gas to get here. Erica, how much have I been spending on gas?
For questions about money, racing fans can turn to Erica, the virtual financial assistant in the Bank of America mobile banking app. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/Erica by your side.
Oh hell, just cancel it, man. Just delay the race, man.
You must download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Your chat may be recorded and monitored for quality assurance. Message and data rates and additional terms may apply. Bank of America NA, member FDIC.
Dude, they may as well just freaking like delay the race.
they cannot go racing again, it would be an official race, and Christopher Bell probably wouldn't be too upset about that. We'll take a local timeout and come back to Charlotte. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
If Christopher Bell wins, that'd be awesome. That'd be his what? Second win of the season, I think, right? Or am I wrong? He's won this year already, right? I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. Maybe he hasn't. Hell, I don't know. I can't remember. I mean, that's just coming from a fan, so I don't.
NASCAR heads to Sonoma Sunday, June 9th. Catch all the action on PRN, a Performance Racing Network.
If we have not yet, we are moments away from losing the track, meaning that it's totally wet. And Mark Arrow, the rain has picked up considerably. The wind has been pretty high. Got a nasty little thunderstorm on our hands here. We're under a lightning hold, and at best, it's going to be a while before we lose.
Don't do this,
That
Dad.
is a
Don't.
lot of water coming down on the racetrack, no question, Doug. We have a few safety vehicles out there roaming around, but
midnight before we
Dad,
start.
just shut up.
or at least he's the only guy down there. Not a problem. Not a problem at all.
Please.
I'm glad
Why are
Rocky
you
stood
fucking
there.
making stuff? Turn the light off.
Yeah. Pat Patterson, I think, snuck back into here with us. Pat, we're going to bring you into the conversation. Pat came over here to the booth. He is stationed to call the action down in turns 3 and 4. And, of course, that's out in the elements, and he retreated up here to the booth. Pat, up until we had this rain interruption, thought we had a pretty entertaining show tonight.
Absolutely. I really did. And you know, we had some leaders got out, you know, a little bit out front, but man, the battles for second, third, and fourth, and at times, just like watching Brad Keselowski close back in on Christopher Bell. William Byron's been awfully fast up there. What a night for Bubba Wallace. Yeah. He's really been competitive tonight, so I hate seeing this weather first and foremost for the fans.
Yes.
But I really would like to see how this thing's going to turn out later on tonight.
And Justin Allgaier filling in for Larson. We talked about that during the race. I mean, as we speak right now, that car listed in the 13th position. At one point, he was -1. Cliff Daniels and those guys kind of coaching about his entry speeds in the corners, and he just picked it up, and really impressive. Really impressive.
Yeah, and Justin did exactly what I think Cliff and that group wanted him to do. Get your feel for the race car. You know, don't be in a hurry here at the beginning of this thing. You have a fast race car. We know that because the kid that qualified it goes pretty fast, right? So just get to where you feel comfortable with the way you're getting in and out of the corner. Talked to him a little earlier tonight about turns 3 and 4. They wanted to encourage him a little bit more to pick up the speed, the entry speed into 3 and 4. He did that, and immediately Mark probably picked up, I don't know, 6 or 7 spots over about a 30, 40 lap run. That's pretty good.
And we heard Chastain a moment ago talk about how hard it is to pass. And so at one point at -1, Allgaier was down there in the bottom of the 20s, kind of riding around 28th, you know, the 30th kind of thing. And once he really got his feet wet, got the hang of it, again, it says it all right here. He's riding 13th, and there's no luck involved, no crazy strategy. He raced that car, got back on the lead lap, and raced that car up towards the front.
Hey, he did his job. His job was to be in relief of Kyle Larson. His job was not to come here and win the 600, unless, of course, that got presented to him. But the bottom line is that the whole plan all along, get to Charlotte. I mean, get Larson to Charlotte as fast as we can. Let's see where we're at. Justin, don't crash the car. Get all you can. Stay on the lead lap. Tonight is a big win for Justin Allgaier, in my opinion.
I think Pat, if the team had a set of checklists for Justin Allgaier, right? Keep the fenders on the car. Check. Don't do anything that's going to hurt it in any way, shape, or form. Check. Stay on the lead lap. Check. Get up towards the front. Check. I mean, everything he has checked the boxes.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's been a great night for him. Glad to see Kyle here. I know they got a tough decision as to what to do if we get a chance to go back racing again. But either way, I think Team Hendrick has executed, as best they possibly could, both at Indianapolis and here at Charlotte. I know that, we talked about it earlier. It's the little things that bite you up at Indy, right? And that little bit of speeding penalty, bit Larson today. But boy, I hope he gets to go back and do it again, don't you?
He's got a 2-year contract.
It captured people's imagination. That's what worked. This put motorsports on the front page. It put it on the 4-letter network. It got people to talking about racing that never talk about racing. That's a win. Whether he raced here tonight or not, that would have been obviously nice, but it caught people's attention. It is monsoonal here right now. It is raining sideways, and it doesn't show any signs of stopping here in the next little bit. We'll keep you posted. We will be giving it back to our local stations at the top of the hour, and then we'll decide on what our rain plan is going to be here for right now. Pat, you guys are talking about Justin Allgaier. I want to give a tip of the hat here to Josh Berry. He had a decent run down at Darlington, and he's been hanging out up in the top 10 all night. Is he finally getting his sea legs? That's probably a poor choice of words since we're watching it rain. Is he finally coming around and adjusting to life in the Cup Series?
Well, I think it's some of that, but I think also, Doug, that what we're seeing here is look at how Noah Gragson has come on here in the last 3 or 4 laps. Look at how Ford has gotten markedly better over the last 4 or 5 weeks. I think that, and Josh Berry, we know he's a great wheelman. We know he can drive the race car. I think they're just starting to find their rhythm, so to speak, so that they can get into the summer swing starting here next week, heading off to St. Louis, so that they can get and take advantage of what they've learned and the momentum that they've got. Again, sorry to see it kind of go the way it's going tonight, but I think Josh Berry's in a good spot.
Again, I was watching the Darlington race closely. He finished 3rd. 10 laps. I mean, he was coming. He was coming in a hurry. He was good on the long green flag run, and Berry was coming in a hurry. So I thought that not only was it a 3rd place run, but it was 3rd place with a bullet. And Berry's had a big week. He finished 5th in that Stars Tour, the ASA Stars Tour Super Late Model race at Hickory. And, he's just one of the big talents. And depending on what happens at SHR, I think Berry's showing enough that he's
somebody will pick him up.
Yeah,
He's not going to get left on the side of the road when everything shuffles out. We'll take a break, come back, and bring you up to date on a very rainy and wet situation here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
With Wendy's new $3 English muffin deal, you can get your choice of a sausage or bacon, egg, and cheese English muffin with small seasoned potatoes.
And with all that for just $3, it really is a proper breakfast, wouldn't you say? With a light and fluffy toasted English muffin and crispy seasoned potatoes. Go on, Catherine, give it a go.
Okay. Jolly good morning.
Close up. Grab a proper breakfast with Wendy's new $3 English muffin deal for a limited time.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Select a request English muffin deal to obtain discount. Not valid for a la carte or combo orders. Single item and regular price. Prices are higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Is your insurance playbook too confusing? Well, make it easy. Switch to Geico and get all your insurance coverage from one place. Go to geico.com today to get started. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hi, it's PRN's Brad Gilly. Did you know you can take PRN with you anywhere? That's right. By downloading the PRN mobile app, you can listen to our live race broadcast from anywhere. Make sure you don't miss a second of the action from the track. Download today for station listings and on-demand access to your favorite studio shows like Fast Talk, Pit Reporters, or Garage Pass. Get all the latest racing information at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app. Available in the Apple App Store and on Google Play.
Hey, I'm Corley Joy for Speedway Children's Charities. The mission for Speedway Children's Charities has remained true since its founding almost 40 years ago. To care for children in educational, financial, social, and medical needs in order to help them lead happy and productive lives. So many children have benefited from our group in the past, but we need your help now more than ever. There's so much we can do when we all join together, so let's start today. Visit speedwaycharities.org to learn more. I thank you in advance for your help.
Back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, rain delay for a big-time thunderstorm that has hit Charlotte Motor Speedway. We have now 151 laps left to go, and with each passing minute, the situation looks a little bleaker as far as making it to 600 complete miles. We I think, just recranked the lightning hole, so that means it would be at least another 30 minutes before we get back to racing. And this is not just a lightning hole, this is also a lightning and a very heavy downpour hold. Pat, I was up at North Wilkesboro this past week on Saturday when we got hit, and I said, I've never seen this much rain in my life. This is giving it a little bit of run for the money.
I never seen anybody do a backstroke on the pit road either, and I saw that last week at North Wilkesboro. Yeah,
We're back. We're back. Don't panic. Don't panic.
Up there in just a few hours. So again, feel sorry for everybody that's got to kind of deal with this right now. Teams and of course the fans. They're just all huddled up waiting to see what we're going to do. So we'll find out pretty quick, I guess, what's happening. But you just said the lightning hole's back on again.
So we'll see how this plays out here over the next few minutes and try to keep you informed. We talked about some of the folks that had a good run up until this point. We highlighted Josh Berry a moment ago. And Alex Bowman, I feel like, Pat, Mark, is starting to come back to life. We've had a couple of races this year where he's been relevant. That injury last year, I think, really sidelined him more than we knew.
Yeah, no, there's no question about that, Doug, and certainly the finish of last year was anything but what he was hoping for, and I think the beginning of this year has been the same sort of thing. But Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like Bowman is like a lot of other guys that we know and talk about. Sometimes they'll get a win early in the season, but sometimes it's around this time of year when they that 48 kind of comes to life. You know what I'm saying? And he looks good tonight. He's had a good race car under him tonight. Alex Bowman is still a very capable guy of winning and contending for a championship, but it just hasn't seemed like we've had him in the conversation much in the last 3 months.
He's been good, kind of under the radar. 4 top 5, 8 top 10s, the first 13 races. Average finish, 12.7. Top 10 in points. So he's been good. But it's that kind of good that just kind of stays off the radar. You don't get excited about it. But it looks like, just like Chase Elliott, little bit by little bit, they built that team back from his injury. He's back in victory lane. I think Bowman's following the same path. Let's just consistently get ourselves up front, get our stuff cleaned up, whether it's on the track or pit road or whatever it is, and we'll be ready to win again.
And Alex is not that kind of, we used to say Bowman the showman, right? And
he's not that flamboyant.
He's not that flamboyant, and the nickname really doesn't fit. He just quietly goes about his business, and I think in a sense he probably feels like right now I got some stepping up to do to compete against these 3 guys that are within that Hendrick organization. You and I've had this conversation before. There's a tremendous amount of talent under one roof, and if you don't think there's an ongoing
Oh, dude, it keeps raining. Just end it. Just end it.
Think again, because I guarantee you that
Just end it.
Well, again, Bowman is the only one of the 4 drivers at this point that hasn't won yet in 2024. And as you look at the point standings, as you come into this race, again, we have 13 races down, 13 to go. Bowman, as you look at it, he's 9th. He's plus 49 from the cutoff line. Again, most drivers would be really, really happy with that. take a look a little farther up, teammate Kyle Larson, number 1, has been to victory lane. Chase Elliott has won. He's number 4. William Byron, number 5. He's won as well. Those are tough acts to follow.
Like I say, though, Bowman's only one win away from being kind of back on that level playing field with those guys, and I think that's one reason you see him running as hard as he is tonight. You know, he can smell the front, see the front, and, you know, he can believe that, hey, I've got a car tonight here at Charlotte that maybe can get me to that win, and I know the faster he can get that done, the better off he's going to feel, and the more he'll be elevated again on that level platform with these other guys.
And, you know, he's going to pop up one of these weeks and just drill the field and win a race. And people are going to be surprised, and you're going to go like, no, and we're not going to be surprised, right? They've been building towards that. Hey, we need to pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Wendy Venturini is hanging out down in the Charlotte Motor Speedway Media Center as we wait to see what the situation's going to be here. Wendy, of course, is one of our O'Reilly Auto Parts pit reporters. Wendy, who have you caught up with?
Well, thanks, Doug. Of course, with the Lightning, we have right now, and so hopefully our microphone's working here. And very good, very good. So I'm with Doug Williams. Doug Williams is a longtime motorsports writer, journalist, and recently inducted into the National Motorsports Press Association Hall of Fame, which I was there for her induction. Doug Rice was there as well. So congratulations, Doug, on that big accomplishment in your long honored career.
Thank you very much. I deeply appreciate it. You know, it still doesn't seem real. I look at it, I look at the jacket, it's like, oh, that's not mine, but I just still can't believe it.
All right, and then also another Hall of Fame voting took place this week. So how would you assess how that voting went for you?
You know, that was the first time that I've been on the NASCAR Hall of Fame voting panel, and I was very impressed how it was handled, how the discussions went. And in all honesty, I went in there thinking I was going to vote, or knowing who I was going to vote for the modern ballot and the pioneer ballot. And then after listening to everyone present information and discussions and all, I changed. So, but it was really interesting the way the presentations were, and then they passed out the ballots. You marked them, you signed them, you dated them, you put them in an envelope, and you sealed the envelope, and then you signed the back of the envelope where you sealed it, and they came by and picked them up and then took them to an accounting firm to count. So it was very interesting.
It sounds very official as well. Let's talk about the official race conditions we have going on. You've seen a lot of rain delays. Any opinion on what we have going on at Charlotte Motor Speedway tonight?
Well, I think since they just took the Coke machine out of the media center, I think we're going to see it called since we're past the halfway point. But one thing that did come to my mind was the time we ended the 600. Jeff Gordon won, and we're in the press box at 1 o'clock in the morning doing the post-race interview. And that was when I was still the editor of NASCAR Winston Cup Scene. And we actually had to be in the office at 8 a.m. to get the paper out. So I think I had like 2.5 hours of sleep that night.
Well, no doubt Doug Williams will be hard at work no matter what time this race ends. Thank you, Doug, for your time here on PRN on our broadcast. And I know you guys are busy here and you have a busy night ahead. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I deeply appreciate it.
All right, thanks a lot, Wendy Venturini, for catching up with veteran NASCAR reporter Deb Williams. Guys, we did have the Hall of Fame vote this past week, and the two modern-day people to get in were Carl Edwards and Ricky Rudd. Thoughts on those two? First, Pat, to you.
Well, I gotta share one quick story about myself and Ricky Rudd. So the first ever race I covered for television at the time was in Riverside, California, and I just happened to go to Victory Lane that day with the Piedmont Airlines #3 of Richard Childress, and the guy that I interviewed was Ricky Rudd.
The first guy to win in the 3-car was Ricky Rudd. A lot of people would get that wrong.
Yeah.
He didn't win years on that bad.
And so I have always had this sentimental spot for Ricky, and then of course watching him and going through his career has been fantastic and well-deserved for Ricky Rudd. Glad to see him in that spot and in the Hall of Fame.
My little story with Ricky Rudd, I was the PR director at Dover, Delaware. He had the Winter Circle back once upon a day. The first two drivers I ever met and had on Winter Circle, Bobby Allison and Ricky Rudd, had a chance to spend a couple of days riding around Baltimore and Washington with Ricky. And when he crashed at Daytona, I'd never seen anything like that from the short tracks. I almost wanted to quit because I said, man, I don't want to see a friend hurt like that. And he walks out with a couple of black eyes and he's racing the next week.
An incredibly tough competitor. I was really happy to see Ricky get in. And a little surprised that Carl Edwards got in this quickly, but he is now into the NASCAR Hall of Fame as one of the modern era folks. We'll take a break, come right back.
This NASCAR season, Toyota Racing isn't looking for just anyone to join the team. No, we're looking for bankers, the ones who open on Sundays.
So if you live for the gravity-defying 31-degree banks like this one on Turn 4 at Daytona,
then we want you. Be part of the action at toyota.com/racing. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included with the activation of a Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah!
Switch to Straight Talk. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Requires in-store activation. Device offer ends 6/9/24. Taxes and fees apply.
We're back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway under a rain delay. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Dale Earnhardt, he's almost been deified. There's a mystique about him that's never been attached to any other driver, including your dad.
I think there's two things for Dale Earnhardt that make him who he is. He was that guy that's your neighbor. I don't care if you live in a mobile home. I don't care if you live in a mansion. He's that guy that was your neighbor. He's the guy that was out in his yard planting his plants. He's the guy that was out there mowing. He's the guy that was out there doing it. He's the guy that drove the truck. He's the guy that got up under the car and changed the gear. He's the guy that put on a uniform and jumped in that car and became your hero on a Sunday afternoon. And you could identify with that. He's really that last guy. And he is, in the words of Tom Wolfe, last great American hero, the book that was written about Junior Johnson. He is that last guy to a lot of people. And he was going to have that following no matter what. It moved to a different level because of what happened at Daytona. Billy Joel, only the good die young. And that's the way you remember it. So I think that moves you to a different place too.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway. The rain unrelenting right now, and we have had a continuous string of lightning hits here. So the lightning hold, every time it hits, it resets again, and it's been resetting now for about 45 minutes. Guys, we were talking about Ricky Rudd getting into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Very deserved, 23 wins, a very, very tough competitor. I think everybody remembers him racing at Richmond, Pat, with his eyes taped open. I thought that was deserving. And I have to jump in and get Mark knows this story. My Ricky Rudd story is not a great one because we would be calling a race and Rudd would be doing great, and Ricky Rudd look at him go, he's killing everybody here today, and then something would go wrong. They'd have a bad pit stop, he'd crash, and finally after about 3 or 4 of those, Rudd stops me in the garage. He says, "Stop saying nice things about me."
Yeah, Doug was bad most of it.
I was the curse for Ricky Rudd, and he was one of the guys that I always really admired him just because he was so tenacious. Carl Edwards got in. Had the most wins of anybody on the modern era ballot at 28. I thought it might be a little bit longer before he got put into the Hall of Fame.
Hard to argue when you put the 25 that you had to vote in as far as that category. And, you know, the one that was left off, it was a tough call, I'm sure, for a lot of folks, Harry Gant. I mean, his impact on the sport was beyond the 18 wins.
I can tell who I voted for, and I voted for Harry Gant. I didn't vote against Carl Edwards. I was fine with Carl getting in, but I just felt like while Harry's still here, and he represented an era in this sport, Pat, with the whole Smokey and the Bandit deal and the Burt Reynolds, Hal Needham thing. He's a part of, I feel like, almost NASCAR lore.
Yeah, there's no question in my mind that eventually Harry will make it into the Hall of Fame, and he was a big contributor, and again, big personality, just like Carl. I mean, he's the first guy that I know of that could stand there, on his door and do that backflip deal. And you know what? There are kids that grew up watching him, and they'll remember him doing the backflip more than they'll remember how many races he won and that big smile he has. He would get out of that car after he won a race, and he would have a smile just as wide as the Mississippi. It was always fun to watch Carl win.
I was doing an interview at Kentucky Speedway for the Busch Series race. I believe it was on TNT years ago. And it was a night like this. It was raining. We were in a delay. And me and my cameraman getting totally sopping wet as we interviewed Carl. Carl had an umbrella. And when he walked away, he looked at his PR person and said, "We got other umbrellas, right? You can get me one quick?" She goes, "Yep." And hands us the umbrella so we could at least stop the monsoon from falling on us. And I still have that Roush Racing umbrella.
I'm going to say one more thing about Ricky Rudd, Doug.
Please do.
Ricky Rudd was a guy that had the respect, and I mean every single lap, of one Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Yeah.
He was, Ricky Rudd had a reputation. Yeah, I don't care who you are. You drive me one bit sideways through this corner, you can expect I'll be right on your door going forward. And Earnhardt, he would mess with some people, but he would not mess around with Ricky Rudd.
They called him the Rooster because he'll peck your eyes out if you mess with him. Right? And here's my Earnhardt Ricky Rudd story. I'm on the wall at North Wilkesboro years ago. And guys would go by, and Earnhardt would kind of move, and he'd pat his back pocket like where his wallet is. And I go like, "What's that for?" She said, "I'm just reminding myself who I've got in my back pocket." And I looked at him and I said, "I noticed you didn't do that when Jeff Bodine and Ricky Rudd went by." He got kind of mad at me right there.
Guys, Mark, you mentioned another name, and I know that you've been championing this guy forever. I'd like to at least see Jeff Bodine get considered. He was led kind of we had the British invasion when the Beatles came over here and all these English bands came to America. He was kind of the northern invasion. I felt like the forefront of that. He was the first bona fide, don't anybody get offended. Ooh, big lightning. Don't anybody get all sensitive here. He was the first Yankee, I felt like, to come down here and really make an impact in what was done in all Southern sport. And he gave no quarter either.
Doug, again, we have some modified drivers in the Hall of Fame right now, right? And I have no argument with the ones that are in there. But in the Mount Rushmore of the guys that ran modifieds, it's Richie Evans and Jeff Bodine at the top of Mount Rushmore right there. And there's still, you got Jerry Cook, Mike Stefanik, great drivers. They're already in. But those were the two big hammers in the modifieds. Jeff won hundreds of modified races, should be in on that alone, but he won 18 Cup races, including the Daytona 500. And if you're talking about other impacts on the sport, full face helmet. He brought gloves. He brought power steering. All things that were game changers on the Cup Series.
Yeah, I think Jeff he'll find his way.
I hope
there.
so.
And remember this, it was Jeff Bodine at Martinsville that got Hendrick his first win and kept that team alive, and if for no other reason other than the fact that a modified guy kept Hendrick going at Martinsville. I thought that was pretty credible.
He wrecks that car, doesn't win the race. We may not have Rick Hendrick.
No, I don't think we have
300 plus.
You're right.
And this has nothing to do with anything else. He single-handedly made the American bobsled team in the Olympics relevant.
That's a
because
fact.
Up until
That's
then,
a fact.
they were racing third-generation bobsleds, and he came in and looked at it, and he said, "This is junk," and saved that program.
His bobsleds were so good, yet the Germans and Russians copied them after a while.
They were stealing patents back then, too.
Yeah.
We got to take a break here as we're waiting out the rain during the Coca-Cola 600.
Silence is golden, especially when it comes to brakes. That's why Napa Silent Guard are built to be one of the smoothest and most quiet brakes on the market. Made with fiber-reinforced shims that eliminate noise for the life of the pad, rubber-coated hardware for a better fit, and quality design that meets and exceeds OE performance. Silent Guard brakes deliver the stopping power drivers demand. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, still raining. We had another lightning hit within the last 2 or 3 minutes, so I'm sure they have reset the 30-minute timer here, which at best would get us back, even if it's going to be a while. If they resume this race, we'll keep you posted. From Charlotte Motor Speedway and the rain-delayed Coca-Cola 600, this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Here's Christopher Bell.
My Toyota Camry TRD race car isn't cheap to build and prepare. I have a pit crew that maintains and fixes my equipment. I have a spotter high above the track watching my back, talking me through turns and potential dangers on the track. I physically train to handle the stress of driving. And I have software helping my crew chief and engineers make the right strategy calls. And with all this, I never take my eyes off the road, and neither should you. One distraction can change everything in one instant.
Time now to update our Coca-Cola Racing family as to how they're currently running on the racetrack right now. Denny Hamlin is currently in the 5th spot. Chase Elliott is 7th. Then in 14th, Joey Logano, Daniel Suarez, 24th. Austin Dillon currently in the 27th position. All of these Coca-Cola Racing family drivers on the lead lap. Tackle race day with the great taste of Coke Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
All right, so right now we've got our Coca-Cola Racing family update. Let's give you an update here from our Hunt Brothers Pizza leaderboard when we froze the race with 151 laps to go. Christopher Bell was leading by 1.3 seconds when the rain hit. Brad Keselowski was 2nd. William Byron was 3rd. 4th was Tyler Reddick. 5th, Denny Hamlin. 6th, Ty Gibbs. Chase Elliott was 7th. 8th to Ross Chastain. Alex Bowman 9th. And 10th to Josh Berry.
11th right now is Bubba Wallace. 12th, Martin Truex Jr. 13th.
Oh man, they don't keep continuing with the race or what?
I'm losing Kyle Larson. Yeah, I got tired at the moment. Allgaier is in the 13th spot. Hello. Joey Logano, 14th, 15th, Kyle Busch. It's Michael McDowell, 16th, 17th. It's Gilliland along with
I think OU softball is going to four-peat. Hell yeah, I hope. That'd be awesome.
Cindric rounds out the top 20.
Carson Hocevar 21st, Justin Haley 22nd, Chris Buescher.
But I sure as hell don't think we'll five-peat because after this year we're going to be losing a lot of our good players. So, yeah.
Austin Dillon 27th, Shane Van Gisbergen 28th, 29th is Jimmy Johnson, 30th is John Hunter Nemechek.
31st, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Harrison Burton is 32nd. 33rd was Zane Smith. 34th is Kaz Gralla. 35th to Corey LaJoie. He got into the wall earlier tonight. Ty Dillon is 36th. BJ McLeod minus 8 laps is 37th. Out of the race, Noah Gragson, Ryan Blaney, and J.J. Yaley. That's the Hunt Brothers Pizza leaderboard. The leaderboard update is brought to you by Hunt Brothers Pizza, where we love racing and we love pizza. Find your next pizza at huntbrotherspizza.com or download the Hunt Brothers Pizza app.
One thing I want to point out, if we don't restart this race, Kyle Larson is going to get 0 points from this race tonight because he didn't start the event. He's still going to lead the point standings. Going to Gateway unofficially 24 up on Martin Truex Jr. He was 30 behind, so he's gained a little bit. And Hamlin is minus 26. He was 39 points back. So they will still remain 1, 2, 3, but the gap is tightened. Also, Chase Elliott now within 41 points. So things get a little bit tighter, but the gamble for Larson paid off. It looks like he'll have the point lead when he leaves.
Well, and remember, though, when we get done with the regular season, you add these points up. I mean, every little point counts. So there is a price that could be paid for what happened here, this weekend as far as not getting anything for the Coke 600.
But he's still in the hunt for those 15 bonus points to go to the
that's very true.
champion. So just don't know how it plays out. But you're right. Every point counts, and he gave away tonight. When you look at it, Truex has scored 6 points tonight, and Hamlin has scored 7. Chase Elliott is not in the top 10 in points scored on the race tonight at this particular point. So he's given up a little, but it could have been a whole lot worse because we didn't finish the third stage. So that would have been some other points up for grabs as well.
Here's the beauty, though, of what happened for Kyle Larson. He had all this wiggle room to play with. What's the old expression? House money. He had a lot of house money. He used up a little bit of equity here. They knew when they went up there, when they started this adventure, that this possibility could happen. And I think they factored that in, knowing, okay, we're going to stay and race. We've invested all this time, money, effort, publicity. We're not just going to walk away.
And let's not forget, he's already won. So he's got the playoff spot locked up. NASCAR gave him a waiver, and that was almost a guarantee that he was going to get it if he needed it. So, again, no harm, no foul, it looks like, for Kyle Larson.
Well, we're watching Mother Nature dance around here and the lightning striking off in the distance here. I've got to think that this is probably resetting their 30-minute clock here, waiting to see if the race will indeed go tonight. And
you know what, fans are, look at this. The rain has stopped, basically, although there's a few little thunder boomers off in the distance. But there's people returning to their seats. I mean, they want to see more racing.
Either that or they left their beer, one or the other.
But I'll tell you what, how did it look from where you were at? Because we looked straight down here on the side. Your angle in turn 4, you get to see it all, the infield, the stands, you get an open view. What did it look like to sell?
Let me tell you, I can't say enough about the fans that came out today, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that maybe came back to watch a NASCAR race today that hadn't been out here in 4 or 5 years. Let's go back out this weekend. I'm so proud of the fans that will come to the racetrack and buy a ticket and go see a NASCAR race. Doesn't mean that television doesn't. They do a great job, and I think we do a great job of presenting it. But man, there is nothing better than sitting in that grandstand and feeling those cars go by and being a part of the atmosphere, especially on Memorial Day weekend. You just couldn't be at a better place.
That moment of remembrance at the end of the second stage, when you have a crowd that's over 100,000 people and you don't hear a pin drop, because that's how much they care and how much they want to honor those that have fallen, their Gold Star families. They want them to really know, and it is crazy.
And it happens every year.
Yeah,
it happens every year.
And we're in an atmosphere where we want the noise, the thunder of the engines, the squealing of the tires, and then it's silent. It is just so cool.
Yeah, I thought the military that was here tonight, the show, so to speak, the display, I should say, of what the Black Hawk helicopters out of Fort Campbell put on here tonight. All of those men and women that put their time into rehearsing and coming and doing this. I mean, that stuff just doesn't magically happen. Hey, you mind bringing some helicopters over? There's a lot of work that goes into putting all this together.
A year's worth, actually.
Absolutely.
Come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Greg Walter, the president of the racetrack, Marcus Smith, the CEO of Speedway Motorsports, they're going to go, hey, great job, folks. Now let's get working on the 66th run of the Coca-Cola 60.
Well, and don't forget, we're coming back here for the Roval. And they had some big news about the Roval here this weekend, talking about a redesign. Marcus Smith wants to make it. He's trying to take the Roval, move it up another level, so to speak, to make there more action. For that Roval race when we come back here. And I'm like, you just gotta love people that sit around and noodle things and just go, what about if we change this around or move that around? Wonder how much harder it would be for the drivers, to get going here. So I can't wait to see what the Roval's going to be all about when we come back here in the fall.
Marcus Smith reminds me a lot of his dad, Bruton Smith, who was never happy to stand pat. He was always like, how can we make the race better? How can we make the fan experience better? And we had lights at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Just to look at all the innovations and different things that Bruton Smith brought to racing. And again, Mark Smith goes like, hey, the race is good. We had a great race at the Roval last year. we can make it better. And so here we go. So they're going to kind of lengthen the straightaway, and they're going to kind of pull out a kink, and they're going to give us more braking zones is the bottom line to it all. And if you have more braking zones, that means you have guys diving on the brakes, sliding in there, knocking people out of the way, so it gives more passing zones if you have more braking zones. Hard braking, not just light braking, but hard braking zones, tight corners, and that's what they're adding to the roll.
Yeah, and and Mark, I'll add to that by simply saying this. I think the brain trust at NASCAR, is of the same kind of mindset that Marcus Smith is. Don't be satisfied. Keep looking for better opportunities. If something doesn't work over here, okay, fine. Let's go over and try to work on this and make it better. I think what Ben Kennedy is doing at NASCAR, what Steve Phelps and his group are doing at NASCAR, I mean, they're working hard, and I feel like there's a concerted effort amongst all of us. It's not us and them. It's a togetherness about the way that they're trying to take the sport forward, and it continues to show the kind of races we're getting. Yes, we want to make the short tracks better. Everybody agrees with that. But man, look at what we had going on here tonight at Charlotte. Look at the way Darlington played out the other day. I mean, look at the finishes that we had at Atlanta,
Kansas,
same kind of thing. I mean, you can always find something, to
in 2025. So mixing up that schedule keeps new things always coming into the mix. And for the hot stove league, if you will, in between races or at the end of the year, it's going to give us stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff going on.
I feel really positive, and today being here, seeing people literally hanging on the fence in the opening laps of this race today, and this was not one of these, well, we sold enough to call it a sellout. It was sold out. I mean, everybody.
When you sell out the standing room only tickets that you had up there in that pavilion,
Sun deck,
in the sun deck, that tells you all you want to know. I mean, hey, I pull up to the thing. Hey, I need a ticket. Sorry.
Unbelievably enough, we are hearing chatter from NASCAR that they may bring out the Elgin track drying machine, which sucks up the water, and talk that they're going to bring the jets and the track dryers out. So I don't know if this is for show or for dough or what they're planning on doing here, but it's as we're creeping up on 10:30 Eastern time, it looks like they're not throwing in the towel here just yet.
That's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water, and there's no way, given right now, if you started, it's not raining. I just walked outside. The rain has stopped. But it would be, in my estimation, and you guys have seen a lot of it, this is 2 hours.
Minimum.
Easy 2 hours. And that's a lot of water out there.
Ain't no problem. Just run down to Krispy Kreme, get us a box of donuts, and let's go. I mean, if that's what we're going to do, then that's what we'll do. But I'm going to need some sugar on the night to keep it going.
You know what I want right now? A Hunt Brothers pizza.
Well, that'd be good too.
Pepperoni.
That'd be good too. I gotta go for.
What is it? Logano says on the ads, a hunk of pizza.
That would be really good, right?
I could use 2 hunks of Hunt Brothers pizza.
Where's that Andy's ice cream guy too?
Where's Barry Rope?
That's right.
Barry,
where's all that at? Right
So we're supposed to get some sort of definitive word here. About 10. We have seen a lot of lightning tonight. Now, how far off that is, I don't know, but that actually looked pretty close.
Yeah, that wasn't 8 miles. That was more like 3.
I'm terrible at estimation. I don't even know how many kilometers.
Close was the word.
But it is close fraction. They are bringing out the Toyota track drive Tundras, guys. They're gonna give this a shot tonight. So
wow.
They're gonna try. I
appreciate that. You know, I mean, the race fans. There's a bunch of them that are coming back to their seats. They want to see the rest of this thing if somehow it's possible.
Well, we may be here for a while, maybe a marathon, and we'll see how this shapes up. We don't have any definitive word yet from race control on exactly what the plan is, but I can see for myself that they have brought out the Elgin machine, which is the one that has the big brushes underneath it, and they're trying to remove some of the water from pit road, and they have actually started the track drying efforts. They have called for the jet dryers. and the Toyota Tundra track driving vehicles to come out.
I've got it under good authority that after a lot of conferencing back and forth, the reason is they want to hear Doug Rice call the last lap Coca-Cola 600. And so if that's the reason we get this thing rolling again, I'm all about it, man.
Selfishly, I would like to be able to do that, but
I don't blame you.
I was hoping we'd get to do that on Monday, on Sunday rather than Monday, but it's not the first time that we have been here, Mark Arrow, on maybe to a Monday morning.
No, it is not. And I try to push them as far back in my memory as I possibly can to a dark closet that very rarely gets open.
Look, as long as we don't have a repeat of last year, I don't care what time this finishes tonight. Good on every race fan that can hang around if that's what we end up doing, because 900 miles in one day was about all this kid could take. I don't know that I could ever do that one again.
We're being told they are trying to dry the track now. So that tells me that they are not going to
No, not now, no.
because it's at the very best, the most optimistic, it's an hour and a half to dry this track at the very least. So
You don't look sick. Deadhead cancer.
You know, I saw a juice kind of sick.
Everything will be fine.
Don't beat this. You're tough.
What are you gonna do now?
And then there's what they really need to hear.
The Colorectal Cancer Alliance are survivors and caregivers who have lived what you are going through.
Did you know that the Alliance has access to clinical trials, screening navigation, and treatment options?
The Buddy program helped me understand things in a way my doctors couldn't.
We are the largest nonprofit dedicated to ending colon and rectal cancers.
The Alliance is a guide along your path with cancer.
There is real hope.
Everyone over 45 needs to get screened. The Buddy program helped me understand things in a way my doctors couldn't.
Answers.
Everyone over 45 needs to get screened.
I figure she would do that. Sorry guys, I had y'all muted for a minute. My grandma called me about tomorrow. I do have a video planned tomorrow. For anyone that actually watches my channel on a regular day basis, I do have a video being posted tomorrow, and obviously some of y'all may know what the May 27th is. It's a very special day, not only just for Memorial Day, but it's also a special day for me personally. It's kind of a sad day, but also at the same time a great day. But anyways, I'll have that video out sometime later tomorrow. But I plan on going out to eat with my grandma and my grandpa from the other side of the family. You guys will understand what it is once I have the video posted, so just be ready for that. I mean, if some of y'all know already, you know what date all the stuff happened on, and that day is tomorrow. Well, rolling into today, I guess, since it's going to be midnight by the time they get this started. But yeah. Okay, now it's not wanting to play. Why is that? Why is it not wanting to load? There you go.
Network line. This is the performance.
Hey, look at that. This is a guy. He's wearing his own
Stations
shirt.
along the network line. This is the Performance Racing Network, reminding you that we are in a weather delay at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and will return at 11:30 Eastern Time. 11:30 Eastern Time stations for your next weather update from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Performance Racing Network. That we are in a weather delay at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and will return at 11:30 Eastern Time. 11:30 Eastern Time stations for your next weather update from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Performance Racing Network.
So that means it'll be 10:30 here. Okay. Gotcha. 10:30. Damn. Okay.
Stations along the network line. This is the Performance Racing Network, reminding you that we are in a weather delay at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Jeez, man, so we're going to be waiting here for a whole entire hour. Oh, shit.
11:30 Eastern Time stations for
Guys, I don't know how much longer I'll be streaming for. I ain't going to lie to you. It's been a minute since I've done a stream like this long. For sure. I mean, I'm willing to go through it, but damn.
stations along the network line. This is the Performance Racing Network, reminding you that we are in a weather delay at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and will return at 11:30 Eastern Time. 11:30 Eastern Time stations for your next weather update from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Performance Racing Network. Stations along the network line. This is the Performance Racing Network, reminding you that we are in a weather delay at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and will return at 11:30 Eastern Time. 11:30 Eastern Time stations for your next weather update from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Performance Racing Network. Stations along the network line. This is the Performance Racing Network, reminding you that we are in a weather delay at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and will return at 11:30 Eastern Time. 11:30 Eastern Time stations for your next weather update from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Performance Racing Network. Stations along the network line. This is the Performance Racing Network, reminding you that we are in a weather Eastern Time. 11:30 Eastern Time stations for your next weather update from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Performance Racing Network. Stations along the network line, this is the Performance Racing Network, reminding you that we are in a weather delay at Charlotte Motor Speedway and will return at 11:30 Eastern Time. 11:30 Eastern Time stations for your next weather update from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Performance Racing Network. Stations along the network line, this is the Performance Racing Network, reminding you that we are in a weather delay at Charlotte Motor Speedway and will return at 11:30 Eastern Time. 11:30 Eastern Time stations for your next weather update from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Performance Racing Network. Stations along the network line, this is the Performance Racing Network, reminding you that we are in a weather delay at Charlotte Motor Speedway and will return at 11:30 Eastern Time. 11:30 Eastern Time stations for your next weather update from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Performance Racing Network. Stations along the network line, this is the Performance Racing Network, reminding you that we are in a weather delay at Charlotte Motor Speedway and will return at 11:30 Eastern Time. 11:30 Eastern Time stations for your next weather update from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Performance Racing Network. Stations along the network line, this is the Performance Racing Network, reminding you that we are in a weather delay at Charlotte Motor Speedway and will return at 11:30 Eastern Time. 11:30 Eastern Time stations for your next weather update from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Performance Racing Network. Stations along the network line, this is the Performance Racing Network, reminding you that we are in a weather delay at Charlotte Motor Speedway and will return at 11:30 Eastern Time. 11:30 Eastern Time stations for your next weather update from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Performance Racing Network. Stations along the network line, this is the Performance Racing Network, reminding you that we are in a weather delay at Charlotte Motor Speedway and will return at 11:30 Eastern Time. 11:30 Eastern Time stations for your next weather update from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Performance Racing Network. Stations along the network line, this is the Performance Racing Network, reminding you that we are in a weather delay at Charlotte Motor Speedway and will return at 11:30 Eastern Time. 11:30 Eastern Time stations for your next weather update from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Performance Racing Network. Stations along the network line, this is the Performance Racing Network, reminding you that we are in a weather delay at Charlotte Motor Speedway and will return at 11:30 Eastern Time. 11:30 Eastern Time stations for your next
Alright guys, so obviously, we are in a weather delay right now. It won't give us an update till 11:30 p.m. Eastern Central, or Eastern Time, which means it'll be about 10:30 here. My phone is actually getting close down to 20%, and I don't want to take the risk of my phone dying while we're waiting and doing all this. So I think as of right now, guys, I'm going to end this stream. But once we do get the notification and green light to like, hey, cars are, drivers are getting back in their cars, I will start another stream. So for anybody that's pissed about it, deal with it. Go cry to your mom or your dad. I don't care. To be honest, I will be back though. So please be patient with me. I hope you guys understand. But yeah, I will be right back here in about, it's 9:47, so like about an hour probably, something like that. So yeah, I'll be right back though, guys. So stay tuned, and make sure you're subscribed, and yeah, I'll be back for the next stream here in a little bit. So yeah, see you guys. Bye bye.